Moving from black snow. Nothing going wrong with the black snow. Nothing going to you naturally.
Rinse FM.
Il est 15h et vous êtes bien verrouillés avec Mathilde sur Rinse France. Le duo Octave One vient de nous rejoindre en studio pour la promo de leur nouvel album Enregistré. Hi guys, how are you?
Hello. We're very good.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Yesterday night was fun?
Oh, it was absolutely amazing. We had a blast.
Yeah, it's nothing like doing a Detroit Love Party. And
Yeah.
Definitely doing one in Paris. Just crazy.
You like gigs in Paris?
Love gigs.
Love gigs.
Do you have a
We
lot?
don't like them. We love them.
Yeah. We played a lot of places here
Yeah,
too. We
absolutely.
played Rex Club and we played Concrete and
Showcase.
Machine Moulin
Showcase.
Showcase.
Yeah.
Machine Moulin Rouge. Man, we've done a lot.
We've done it right.
What was the best, if you have?
Wow. I can't say they're all apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Different fruits.
The gigs are so different.
Yeah, they're all different, but they're all a blast. We haven't had a bad time. We love playing in Paris.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we are here to talk about your last release. It is called Enregistré, and we are going to listen to some of the tracks. But before, can we just explain why this name, why Enregistré?
Wow. I mean,
If there's a reason.
There's definitely a reason. It's for us it's early actually. It's late for everyone else. Us party animals. But we did this music as we were touring. This is what this album is. Probably the first time we really did the entire album, pretty much on the road. And it's kind of like it was the feel that we got at the time. It's a bit more, I don't know, not necessarily aggressive, but it's not necessarily as melodic as our past releases. And it just kind of gave us that feel, and that was kind of the soundtrack what we were doing. We were on the road. We had been playing a lot of big festivals and stuff. And this particular record just has a bit more of a, I don't know, not necessarily harder edge, but harder edge.
Yeah, I've heard this is a particular release because you made it traveling. But how long did it take to make this album? And you were under your alias Random
Random
Noise Generation? Yeah.
It took us about 18 months, about a year and a half.
Yeah.
About a year and a half. Experimenting in on the road and as far as in hotel rooms and on the stage.
Build some tracks in the hotel and literally just run it to the stage that night and okay, that worked,
Or okay, that didn't work.
That didn't work. Never play that again.
Okay, so nothing has been made out of a hotel or in your house? No.
Most of the stuff was made when we were on the road. I mean, it's just we'll sit there. We'll have these gaps in our schedule where we might be sitting in the hotel for 4 or 5 days, and we'll just throw some gear up, and
then we go back and perfect it in the studio, of course.
So the final mix down was all done in the studio back. And
might change some sounds. It's like, okay, I didn't have access to this particular piece of gear, but in the studio I have it. So
okay, is it more inspiring for you to travel like this?
It was different. It was different.
Definitely a different experience.
I mean, you get inspiration from everything. So, but yeah, it was inspiring in that point. But it was different for us because we hadn't did it that way completely. So we said, okay, let's challenge ourselves and see what we can do.
So that's biggest challenge for you?
No, there are bigger that are in front of us. But that's one of the challenges, facing our fears on that one. So we just kind of did it and dove into it, and it worked out pretty well. We're really excited how it ended up.
Okay. And it's been since 2006, if I'm not falling. You are releasing under this alias.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's with your other brothers?
Yeah. For Random
Is
Noise.
it more difficult to produce the 5 of you?
No. We've been doing that for a while. I mean, we've been producing as 5 brothers for quite a for years and years and years. This particular project was a bit different because it was basically our brothers sending us parts, maybe some ideas they had, and maybe we would build on those ideas.
And vice versa.
Yeah,
we
so-
might have did something on the road, sending back to them.
Yeah.
And you got an idea to add something to this, so yeah, it was different in that way for us.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said to make this album, you had to bring a little studio with you from country to another. What was your setup? So.
Well, yeah, we had to add. We always bring a ton of gear. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things, we always bring a ton of gear. But the only thing that we really had to bring that was pretty much extra is we brought the Turia, the keyboard. Man, what's the keyboard? Man, I can't remember. But it's an actual. We don't have a keyboard that we bring with us. So this time we brought a small keyboard with us.
Yeah.
Audio interface, we pretty much use a MPC Live as an audio interface because it's great for that. And that's normally stuff that we don't necessarily have an audio interface for our computers and stuff like that. So just that and a keyboard to play, and yeah, that was pretty much it. That was extra because we bring a ton of synthesizers, drum machines, and everything else.
Yeah.
So we have enough. We basically bring a complete studio.
Yep.
The only thing that we didn't have is just a audio interface for the computer and a keyboard to pretty much play and hit everything else.
And you hadn't any problem with the studio traveling?
I can't say we didn't have any problems.
No, I mean,
Space
That would
was
be
probably
too easy.
yeah.
Space would probably be the biggest problem because it's hard to find enough
Yeah.
space in some of the hotel rooms, and you got stuff spread on the bed, on the floor, and it's time to sleep, wake up. So it's space probably was
Yeah,
the
that's
biggest
the biggest
problem.
problem.
Okay, so let's start discovering this album
Yeah. Okay.
with the track Alkalis.
Okay.
Alkalis.
Yeah, Acolyte. Cool. It's fine.
So French, sorry.
yeah.
It's all good.
Thank you.
Rinse.
Vous êtes toujours sur Rinse France avec Mathilde et Octave One pour une interview exclusive. So that was Alkalize.
Yes, yes.
I've read somewhere that this track in particular is most representing the spirit of your band.
Yeah, I mean, I think this particular track, especially when we're talking in terms of random noise generation, this kind of how this track came together. The actual sequence itself and how things kind of happened, they were actually kind of accidental, very accidental.
Yeah.
Triggering wrong sounds and like, oh wow, that works. That's supposed to be a bass sound. Those are drums. Oh man, that works.
That's always been random noise.
That's what random noise has always been.
Unexpected.
So. Yeah, exactly.
The
very
big
unexpected.
mistakes. It's fun.
Yeah.
And we just play off of those things.
I saw. Yeah, all the album has been unexpected.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't. As the tracks came together, it became an album. It wasn't something that we decided that we were going to make an album.
Yeah, exactly.
It just kind of came together as that kind of a project, and the whole thing was definitely accidental.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Where and when did you write this track? So.
That's a good question.
Wow.
We didn't even log. Then we should have did that.
No,
We should have
paid
logged.
attention. Yeah.
What hotel, what city we did each track.
You don't
We just-
remember?
We have no idea.
idea.
We were just jamming
I
out.
wanted to know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
We were just jamming out wherever we were, so we should have kept a log of that. But that would have made it too.
Next time. Next time we'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to ask for every track.
Oh no,
You don't remember.
not at all.
But do you remember what inspired you when you made it, or?
Usually for us too, the people. I mean,
Yeah,
when we
it's-
do
yeah,
shows, the
it's the
energy,
shows.
the energy that we give out, and what comes back just is so inspiring, and that really drives us to really hit the studio and just, oh man, okay, I felt that. I felt that when they threw it back to me. So, and you just go in your room and hotel room, and we just jamming out after that,
A lot of times, you'll hear rhythms that not necessarily are being played on records. You might just hear rhythms because of what's happening in the room, and things just come into your head, and it kind of sticks. And then when you go back to the hotel, it's like, I'm hearing this. I want to try this.
Yeah.
And it happens, more often, I guess now than ever before, where things, because of, I don't know, the environment that you're in, it could be, it could be just walking along the streets. It could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be the club.
Yeah.
A lot of the inspiration came from just the movement through the different places that we've been. So these things all inspire us to do music.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be anything. It could be absolutely anything.
So that's random noise, but everything could inspire you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember? Do you feel something in particular when you listen to this track? What's on your mind?
Particularly in this track, machines.
Yeah.
It definitely has
Machine love.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But it definitely has definitely that kind of melting of the mechanical and the soul, and it's
Machines communicate with each other.
And we kind of allowed the track to be that way. As we, they were. And it happens also with when we do our tracks is that there are always a lot of other parts that you'll never hear from the tracks. There's a lot of parts that were part of this particular track, and then when you started putting it together, it's like, no, these are the important pieces.
Yeah.
This is the soul of this particular track.
Yeah.
And this one, it was definitely the drum rhythms. It was the drums doing basses and things like that. It was all about that, and you could feel that it was complete without all the other parts. So that's really what we kind of feel is the mechanical, the mechanism of it all.
Yeah. So it is only raw sounds out from your machine and not mastering after?
No, I mean
the mastering enhances what you've already
definitely
put down.
does, yeah. And
but
we add sounds all the time.
Yeah,
it could be at any point, rather it be from the conception or it could be at the end result.
Yeah.
But
that's pretty much that's the track though. I mean, what the masterer does is just
Yeah,
enhances.
the master doesn't play
what's already there.
He doesn't play a note.
Yeah, it has to be there.
Yeah,
It has to be there already for it to be enhanced.
Yeah.
Is there something you want people to feel when they listen to this album?
Wow.
I mean, really, we just want to inspire. We want to inspire people. Some kind of emotions. Rather it be happiness, sadness, or whatever. We want to inspire. I mean, music should be something that's inspirational.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be just something where you completely just forget about it later. I guess some people want their music. I don't know. No one wants their music to be that way. But we want to inspire people. We always have strived. I don't know. It doesn't matter what record we've done. We want to inspire someone to think, to feel.
Yeah.
Don't you think you have inspired your youngest brothers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they were always in the studio with us. I mean, literally, sometimes they just laid on the floor under the mixing console, and we didn't even realize they were there. So, yeah, we've definitely inspired them, but they've also inspired us because the things that they bring to the table musically is just like, okay, that's left the center. I really dig that.
Yeah, they definitely do things from
yeah.
a different point of view than we do things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And it helps out
And
tremendously.
that's good for you. and
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an example of stuff they learned to you?
Wow. A lot of times it's rhythms. Because sometimes we would approach things kind of from the straightforward standpoint, and they'll come and just do things totally left field. I mean, how maybe they play drums.
Yeah. We already played drums quite different than probably the rest of our techno peers back in Detroit.
They play drums even more different than we play drums.
And they playing on software now.
Yeah.
Well, the one brother. Well, both of them.
Yeah, they're pretty much their machine. They use machine.
Like
they use they like a machine. So which is kind of cool for us because it allows them to like send us a session from machine, and we'll be sitting in a hotel, and we can download into our version, and we can just start. Oh well, we like this part. We don't like this part.
Yeah.
We maybe just like the MIDI, and maybe we'll change the sounds or chop it up or whatever. So it gives us a nice palette of something to actually work from, which is great.
Yeah.
And we can do the same. We can send them parts, and they can drop it into their machine, and they can build from that. So it gives us a way to work electronically, through the internet and bring stuff in and out, and we collaborate that way. Especially with this particular album. Normally in the past we would be in the studio together.
Yeah.
But because we were doing so much road work, we didn't have the opportunity of actually being in the studio together.
Yeah, we were touring like mad. Literally, we were on the road every weekend, so we had to just do it when we could do it.
And are you still on the road now, or are you going
Yeah.
to go home? And no studio. So.
But we took July off because we wanna do a new project.
Yeah.
We're challenging ourselves to something even more different.
Yeah, a lot different. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which
it's gonna be
challenge?
It's gonna be different. I don't want to let it. It's different. I mean, we've already been experiencing. It's different.
It's different.
Way different than what we've ever
different.
did.
Okay, so we will be waiting for it. Isn't it just so amazing to make music like a family like this on your family?
It is. I mean, and it has its challenges too, because you get personal to certain things that you love more, and but the status. I mean, they come in and vote it down, and you're like, but I really love that part, So I mean, it's good. It's beautiful though. But we all get along. I mean, we all love music so much. We know when we're that passionate about it to kind of take a back seat and let the other guy kind of lead the way a little bit more. So it's cool. Really appreciate it that way.
You agree?
Yeah, totally agree. Sorry, I'm soaking up the moment. Yeah, I mean, it helps to have different points of view, and you also have to have some kind of a thin skin where you can't be too attached to something. You have to allow everyone to contribute, and you have to say, okay, I might love this, but there are 4 other people that say it's not really that great. Maybe it's not. Yeah. So you have to be able to receive input from the rest of the group.
Yeah.
And it helps us to shape music that way.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you think if we listen to another track?
Cool.
Oh, that would be
Works
great.
for me.
Soul Exchange.
Cool.
Hey,
Excellent.
One of my favorites.
Thank you. Vas-y, DJ.
C'est ça.
Rinse.
So that was Soul Exchange.
Yes, it was.
Sorry. Is it sounding like you wanted to?
Yeah, actually
Yeah,
it is.
I
Yeah,
think
it is.
probably this record more than any other record we've
Yeah,
done
yeah.
sounds how we want it to sound.
Yeah.
But how do you want it to sound?
Soulful,
Aggressive,
aggressive,
loud.
But
Yeah.
not that much.
Yeah, you know what? You know, and it's not. Yeah, not to strip out the human aspect of it. You know, that's seems to be a problem with a lot of times you kind of you process it so much you kind of lose the
It becomes sterile.
yeah
Yeah, it becomes sterile.
you lose the human feel of
Yeah.
it.
So no, it does sound really like how we want.
Yeah, how we want it to sound.
Yeah.
Do you remember which machine have been used for this track?
That's a lot of
A
machines.
A
lot of
lot.
machines.
We don't use just one.
Yeah, I mean, usually, especially for this particular album, because we kind of use most of the road gear.
Yeah.
So it could, man, this particular track, definitely, we abused the Dave Smith mofo.
We always abuse.
Yeah,
the
we
Dave
love
Smith.
the Dave Smith mofo. Now, not only is he a cool cat, he makes cool instruments.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
Very
so,
cool. all
yeah.
the way around.
Yeah. So yeah, this is definitely one of those tracks and where we the lead line and stuff comes off the mofo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw you have like respective roles when you are producing live. Can you explain it to us? If you still have.
Yeah, I mean, you know, my job is just really to control, affect, kind of set a pace, more or less. What kind of comes in, what kind of goes out, and Lenny builds. He builds everything, so and sends it my way, and you know, so he's creating on the fly, and I'm creating on the fly, you know. So
Yes, so I'm primarily at the beginning and Lawrence is at the end.
Yeah.
So I kind of decide what the songs are going to be, what parts are going to, the basic parts, and Lawrence can take out parts. He can enhance parts. I'm playing parts. So Lawrence pretty much is on the mixer,
yeah,
mixer and effects, and I'm on synthesizers and drum machines and stuff.
you know, I play the mixer like an instrument, so I like the freaky cues. So literally, I do play it like an instrument as well.
And it's the same when you're on scene, so.
On scene, as far as in, I'm sorry, live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do live. I'm a freak, FREQ.
Do you sometimes perform digisets or it's just live every time?
It's always live.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was
it's-
never a DJ.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I'm on the stage,
You were a DJ.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was a DJ. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, if I'm on the stage, it's me playing live.
Yeah.
So Lawrence definitely he
Yeah.
DJ'd for many years.
yeah. It's a lot more fun. I get more tracks to play with. That's
So
what
before,
it is.
Before being the two of you, you were a DJ?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you pass from this stuff to another?
Literally, we did a show together, and I DJ'd before Lenny was to become on live, and he had brought us a ton of gear like he always does, and it was a lot for him to work, including the mixer. So literally, I just jumped from the DJ booth, ran onto the stage, and just started working the mixer, and I was still kind of hyped up from DJing, and I started working the mixer like I was working a DJ mixer. And that's how I was kind of born. And Lenny was doing his thing. He was jamming out, but it was just too much for him to jam out, then run to the mixer and do the mixer, then come back and jam out. So it just left it so he can just keep jamming out, and I could just keep playing with it like I was DJing still.
When was your very first live performance? If you remember?
Detroit,
Yeah.
Motor Lounge. Oh man, we had a tour. We had a U.S. tour. It was our first show on the U.S. tour.
Yeah.
And in fact, we were touring with DJ Rolando and one of our other artists, Wild Planet. And yeah, I think it was, man, what year was that?
I can't remember the year, unfortunately.
Was it 99? It might have been 99.
Yeah, it might have been
Not before.
It might have. Yeah, because the thing about us and performing live is that our first part of our careers, we were just primarily producers. We were making records in the
Making
studio.
records, yeah.
So we didn't become a live band until until many years after we started producing records. So it wasn't necessarily one of our goals when we started making music was to be a live band.
Yeah.
It just kind of evolved. And basically, we had planned this tour that we were just talking about, and the act that was supposed to be the main live act decided they did not want to do it. So we needed another live act. So basically, we just decided that we didn't have time. We only had a few weeks. So we became the live act. Well, I became the live act initially.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I initially was supposed to perform as Random Noise Generation by myself. And as Lauren said, it just evolved. I had all this stuff on stage. I had all these great ideas. And really, I didn't have enough time to flesh the ideas out in the studio. And I just kind of threw the stuff on stage. And Lawrence just saw me trying to work everything. And he just jumped on stage and started working the mixer. And basically, the live act was born in the club.
Literally, right in front of audience. Yeah.
Okay, just like that, like surprise.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's basically was
surprised us too.
it. Surprised us too. Yeah, exactly.
So you didn't expected all that success, the two of you?
Nah,
No,
it wasn't
no,
planned. We just
no.
wanted to. I mean, he was just jamming out.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even plan on even playing live at all.
Yeah,
If
not
it
at
wasn't
all.
because of necessity, we had a tour booked. We'd have probably never been a live act if we didn't have to fill that space. So
Yeah,
we thank that band for not showing up for the tour. Thank you.
Thank you very much, very much.
Could you compare touring in the US and touring in Europe?
You know what? In Europe, because the culture is so rich and has been here for so long, they know kind of the promoters know how to put it together. The stage hands, they know how to take care of the back line. It's still kind of new, I think, in the States. The education level isn't as deep, but they both have a love for it. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But
People like to party all over the
Yeah,
world.
they like to party all over the world.
Yeah.
So there is no more facility in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that the dance culture is so much richer
Yeah.
in Europe
Yeah.
Because it kind of it rooted itself so much,
Yeah.
faster and in the European culture.
Yeah, it did.
It took a while for the U.S. to really, I mean, we only had pockets in the States, Chicago, New York, Detroit.
Yeah.
And those were pretty much the places where it took root in the U.S., but past that, everything just kind of left the U.S. So it's only now that, I don't know, maybe the last 10, 15 years where things are really starting to kind of develop in the U.S. And it's still definitely a lot of smaller clubs, lots and lots of smaller clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Great vibes, though. We've been having some really good parties in the U.S., but it just took a while for them to embrace what we were doing.
I think surprisingly, EDM, I hate to say that word, but had something. It did help in the States because it did spread it across the States. It spread the sound of dance music, I think, a lot more evenly across the States.
Yeah.
And as they got into EDM, they started starting to look to discover
small portion of it,
small portion,
Yeah.
starting to look to discover other things. Or as they discovered, they're like, wow, this existed. And they're telling other people, hey man, check this out. You like this guy. You got to check these guys out. And that's what we're starting to get a lot more in the States,
Okay, you are playing like everywhere now in States. It's not only Detroit.
Well, we play, it's usually both coasts.
Yeah.
East Coast and the West Coast.
That's usually what it
and
is.
then the Midwest as
Middle,
far as,
no.
middle and Detroit,
Yeah,
so,
Detroit. That's about, But
Midwest.
it's usually that, just pretty much New York.
Yeah.
Then, San Fran, LA, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, we'll every now and again some stuff will pop up in like Seattle, which was really fun to play.
Yeah.
And, Miami, stuff like that, DC. So it's nothing like how we tour in Europe where we're constantly touring. It's usually just special occasions here and there. It's just going to take a while. It's still going to take a while.
Yeah.
Is it your city that inspired your way of playing now?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole Detroit thing. Yeah.
We might not live in Detroit anymore.
How was it?
But I mean, it's bred into you. You can't really explain it. You can't really define it. You can't point a finger at it. But it's just something that is cultivated as you come up. And we live actually down in Atlanta, Georgia now, but it's still Detroit is our
Detroit's
hometown.
in us, yeah.
It's in our hearts. So it can't be removed. It can't be erased.
Okay. So now let's listen to the track "The Age of Industry."
Cool.
You seem happy.
I'm always happy.
Vous êtes toujours sur Rinse France avec Mathilde et Octave One. So, do you have good memories behind this track?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking, man, that's kind of heavy for a Sunday, you know. But you know, people are probably at home like, what is going on, you know? But yeah, a lot of good memories about this track for sure.
Do you have a very, very favorite track on this album? Or they are all your children?
Yeah, you can't love one child over the other. But
I think I like Alkalies. It's probably my favorite out of all of them. I think because it was the least amount of work that was necessary to put that track together. Kind of was born the way it kind of sounds is kind of how it was born.
It was easier?
It was a lot easier.
yeah, it was a lot easier.
Once again, it was very accidental. But when all the parts, we heard all the parts together, like, okay, these parts are right, and it was a lot easier than a lot of the other tracks. I mean, they just kind of fell into place.
Yeah, we took more things away from the track
Than
to
we
not
added.
include it in the composition than we included.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, it made
So,
it easier.
according to you, a track is better when it's just improvisation and...
Not all the time.
Not all the time,
Not
but-
all the time. Sometimes you want to be deliberate. You know, there are many times, you know, like when you just have an idea that you're trying to execute.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, like, you know, in this particular case, especially with Alkalies, where it was just accidental and it just like, that's funky, we just got to keep that.
Just roll with it. That's
Yeah.
it. You just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the very first component of your studio? Because you're known for a lot of gear.
Our very first component.
Yeah.
Well, our favorite component is the 909.
Yeah.
That's our favorite.
But
Yeah.
our first pieces were the Kawai R50 and
Drum
the
machine,
Korg DDD1.
Also a drum machine.
And we bought them both at the same time.
Yep,
Yeah.
that was
From
And you
some
still
other-
have it.
No, it's in a museum somewhere.
Yeah. No, it honestly is. It's in a museum somewhere.
Is, yeah. They did an exhibit and
Yeah, it's somewhere.
It's somewhere floating in the
Yeah, they
museum.
did a techno exhibit, so it's somewhere.
I don't know
Oh,
where it's
really?
at
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, it actually is.
You don't know where?
I don't know where anymore.
We don't know where it
Yeah,
is. Both
okay.
of them are gone.
Yeah, both
Okay,
of them.
I'll be looking for it.
Yeah.
Look on eBay.
If you could only keep just one gear, what would it be?
Always the 909.
Always 909. It always has been.
Hands down. We don't even have to think about
Yeah.
that. Once the 909 is gone, it's over with.
Yeah, we don't care how many times they remake the machine and everything else.
Which is beautiful. I mean, they did
yeah.
a good job, but it's something about that's our baby.
And it has a particular sound. Our particular unit, in fact, they all have particular sounds. And we've actually, at one point, we had mixed the machines up between ourselves and Derek May.
Yeah.
And we realized we had the wrong machine.
We had the wrong machine.
Because his sounded different than ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
But isn't it like all machines are sounded different?
Yeah, but especially when you're talking about analog pieces,
Yeah.
as opposed to digital pieces. Analog pieces have a distinctive sound
Yeah.
that each unit sounds distinctively different. And that's the beauty of analog, and also sometimes the problem when you're trying to reproduce something, you can't, it's not going to be exactly the same.
You might not get it dead on.
Yeah,
You know,
but digital, you can do that.
yeah.
And that was we found that definitely the case with a lot of the older gear that we've used. Like the first two drum machines that we named, they were both digital pieces. But the 909 is a mix between digital and analog. Some samples and actually some, it actually makes a lot of the own sounds, like the kick drums and stuff are all analog.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, our machine has a distinctive. It is the Octave One sound because it's our machine.
Yeah, that's it.
As big users of machine, how do you see all that new digital generation?
Well, it's fine. I mean,
it's cool.
however you make music, you make music.
Yeah.
These are tools.
Yeah.
It's not like you pop open the app and it's like it's gonna make something original.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you still have to create.
Yeah, you have to still create. I mean, so if you're gonna make something that actually is original and that's part of you, you have to make it. So it's all these things are just tools. Laptops are tools. Drum
That's it.
machines are tools.
Yeah.
Synthesizers are tools. It's up to you to use these tools in either the proper way or the wrong way.
We don't knock
Yeah.
anyone's hustle. I mean, that's your thing. That's your thing. So
Yeah, if it's your thing, it's your
just
thing.
roll with it.
Is your setup changing often?
Always.
Always.
Always?
Always.
Yeah.
Except
What
for
is it
mine.
now for yesterday? What was it?
This one, usually we change it during the tour.
Yeah,
Because now we're on the industry tour, and we're touring the new album, and we've changed the setup. We just added a few different pieces. Normally, we always have our basic staple of our setup is the Akai MPC 1000. We usually always have that. From the beginning, we've always used some kind of MPC. We started with the MPC 2000, 2000 XL. Now we're with the 1000, much smaller unit, does a lot more things, more powerful. And then for some reason, for the longest, we've just had, once again, the Dave Smith Mofo. We just completely love it.
Love that piece. Love it. Love it.
Completely love it. And we've just kind of started switching stuff in and out. And what we find now is, as opposed to when we first started touring, a lot of the manufacturers are making smaller, lighter gear for guys like us who tour a lot. So there's a lot of choices now for different. I mean, we have a room full of stuff that we just kind of switch in and out, and stuff we might have tried and didn't like, or so it takes it for us, to keep it interesting. We have to keep changing up the setup. Yeah.
Sometimes you go grab an old piece and you're like, man, I really missed that. I played with that 2 years ago. I got to bring it back, or I might have to repurchase it, or whatever it is. But you kind of bring things back to it in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the latest stuff you want to add to your studio now?
Wow.
So much things.
You know what? I can't think of anything new that I really want to add, because we got our studio's pretty packed.
Yeah.
What I like to do is be able to use it more.
So how are you choosing new stuff?
Kind of new stuff chooses us. It might be something that sparks our interest, like something they're doing new with some analog pieces, Surprisingly, someone told us about a Behringer piece, synth.
Yeah, Behringer's basically cloning so much stuff.
Cloning
They actually
so
have
much
a
stuff.
couple of pieces of original synth that we're looking at.
Yeah, some people told us that you got to check it out. So
Yeah, and Moog has a lot of really great stuff.
Yeah.
Dave Smith has a ton of stuff. And the thing about it is, like, with us is, especially with the studio, what we found is that we have to stop buying things until it's time for us to really start working on a new project.
Yeah.
Because, the problem with us touring so much, you're sitting in a hotel, you're looking at these websites, and you're looking at, the new gear and these new, and every year, like NAMM is a convention where they have all the gear and stuff, and you're looking, and you just got the shopping list, and you get home, and it's just boxes sitting there.
Boxes in the studio.
Yeah.
It's just sitting stacked up that we got to open and learn.
And a lot of times we don't even have time to learn it.
No, we don't.
So that's, we had to stop doing things like that, and it's very difficult because you just kind of like, oh, I gotta have that.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting there at home, and you won't see it for 6 months.
That's it.
We
We no longer want museum pieces. We want to use everything.
Yeah, we want to use everything. Yeah.
Okay, nice. So there is only 5 minutes left, so let's listen to a track.
Cool.
I've chosen Point Blank because I like it.
All right.
Thank you for this interview and
Thank
to let
you.
us discover this album.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you.